everybody. I hope you're doing really, really well today. My name's Michelle Legaly. I'm the creator of the Empaths and Sensitive Facebook group and many other things, just like you in the world, doing all your cool stuff. If you're here with me live, please say hi in the chat. I'd love to say hi back to you. And if you're catching the replay, put #replay. Every single week I come on and do some type of tool, training, inspiration in the realm of life coaching. So maybe you're going to try these tools and techniques on for you to improve your life, or maybe you're a life coach yourself and you're going to use these tools to help your client. No matter what, we are all improving, and we do this ripple effect of when we help ourselves, it helps our family, and then it helps our neighborhoods, and then our cities and our states and our countries and in the world. But we always just start with us. And I say that to myself all the time, and I say it to my own students, like the inner world, the outer world is just a reflection of the inner world, which is the best news because we always have ourselves. Okay, this week is part 2 of manifesting using the feelings of more versus the feelings of less. And the whole premise of this, it started last week. If you didn't watch last week's video, you can find it in the Empaths and Senses Facebook group. You can find it on michellelegaly.com in my blog. You probably be able to find it on YouTube. But it was called The Feeling of More versus the Feeling of Less. And the idea was when something's not going right in our life, or when we want to experience and change in our life, the normal default for myself and most people is to go find something more, or to go find something new to add into our lives. And I've been playing with this idea of less. I've been practicing myself this whole week, and I hope you have been too, of what if the first question we ask ourselves is, first establish what you want. I think that's always step 1. Is to be super clear about what you're actually wanting. Number 2 is, where are you now? Right? It's kind of like a GPS. Like if we were going to put in the coordinates to go somewhere, but the GPS didn't know where we were right now, we wouldn't really know how to get there. So what do you want? Where do you believe you are now? Then the next question is, what could you do less of? And what could you do more of? And it's that simple. I've been practicing it this week. So I'm going to give you my example. And again, this is a tool that you can use. It's so effective. You ever hear the saying, like, take your power back, or I gave all my power to somebody? I believe this exercise that I'm trying to teach you is a version of taking your power back. You holding the cards, you seeing that you have a lot more control over your thoughts, feelings, and actions than we really realized. Okay, here's my example. First, I asked myself, what do I want? And I said, I want fun romantic dinners with my husband. Where are you now? And where we're at now is, now that everybody left after Christmas, we don't really even eat dinner. We just kind of go off our separate ways. He watches TV in his office, and usually football. I go up to my room and I kind of piddle on my phone a little bit, or I watch TV, or I'm doing something on my computer. So we're kind of just drifting after work. So that's where we're at. And what I want is fun, romantic dinners. Okay. That's where I'm at. And that's what I want. Now I'm going to go to the less. What thoughts could I do less of? What feelings could I do less of? And what actions could I do less of? And I'll tell you what I wrote. For thoughts, I could stop the crabbing in my head about, here's the thought that's been coming up a lot. Is this what it's like to be married for 30 years? Is this how it goes? Like, those are the thoughts that have been going through my head, and they're kind of wah, wah. The feelings are wishing it were better. And the actions I've been taking is, I'm just kind of going to bed early to go do my own thing. Do you see how if I did less of that, it would probably improve just from doing the less? Does that make sense, everybody? So basically, I'm calling myself out, or I'm looking at what I'm thinking and feeling and acting like, that's creating the thing I don't want. And if I just did less of that, it's going to take me to where I want to go. But we're not just going to stop there. I'm going to add on the feeling of more. So now what could I do more of in my thoughts, feelings, and actions? And here's what I wrote. I could think the thought, we are so lucky to be together for this long. And here's a feeling. I could actually tap in to the feeling of feeling connected, feeling love, feeling those years of commitment to each other and all the goodness that has created. And then an action step I thought to take was I could write 30 reasons why being married 30 years is the best thing I ever did. It's not easy for my brain to do that, though. My brain, you know how it's just easier to like go eat ice cream and chips than to like do the good food. For my brain, it's easier for me to just go to bed early and think, that's just the easier thing. That's like chips and ice cream for my brain. It's harder for me. It's like my brain has to go to the gym for me to come up with 30 reasons why being married 30 years is the best thing I ever did for myself. But can you imagine if I did that exercise, how I would think, how I would feel, and how I would show up with my husband? Our lives would absolutely improve. So the old me was just wishing it was better. But the me that followed this framework, I guess, there's a measurable action steps that I could take to change the trajectory of the 30-year marriage. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Type it in the chat. Okay, I'm going to go over the framework one more time. Get clear about what you want. No judgment. You're allowed to want whatever you want. Big, small, little, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just let yourself want what you want and write it down. Where do you believe you're at now? What thoughts could you do less of? What feelings could you do less of? And what actions could you do less of? Write that down. And then go to the more. What thoughts could you do more of that would get you there? What feelings could you do more of that would get you to where you want to go? And what actions could you do more of that could get you to where you want to go? Write that out. You could do that exercise in 5 minutes just to see what's going on. Does that make sense, everybody? I truly believe this is some form of taking your power back. Again, the me before I did this exercise spent a lot of time wishing it was better, like it was out of my control, wishing my marriage was better. The me after this 5-minute exercise thinks, oh, you're responsible for making it better. Like, you know what to think, you know what to feel, you know what to do. You could actually ask him out to a beautiful romantic dinner. Like, it is literally all in my control. But old me before the exercise just wished it could be better. Like I had no control over it. 5 minutes later, I realized I've got complete control over this. I have the power. Okay, what about you? Could this framework help you? Type yes or no in the chat. Somebody said, glad to catch you live today from frigid Iowa. Oh, I'm sending you TLC, warmth, everything. I hope you're staying warm. Could this framework work for you? Yes or no? Type it in the chat. Okay, I'm going to say it one more time in case you didn't catch it. Grab a piece of paper. It's just basically, it's not a Marietta, feeding your brain with positive instead of negative, outlining it and writing it down brings it all into perspective. Yes, it definitely would help. Yes, Marietta, it's kind of like what we're doing in Intuition Circle, right? Like we're kind of managing our minds and we're doing a few other things, but that's, again, until I wrote it down, to me, I was living a life of I wish it was better. Isn't that funny? And I know better. I didn't even question that. And after this 5-minute exercise, I giggled at what I was doing, and I see that I have all the power to make it better. Cool. Okay, one more time. Here we go. Step 1, what do you want? Be clear and write it down. Step 2, where are you now? Be as clear as you can and write it down. No judgment about any of it. Step 3, the less column. What less thoughts could you think that would get you to where you want to go? What less feelings could you release to get you where you want to go? What less actions could you take or not take to get you where you want to go, to get you to where you want to go? Boom. Now go to the more. What more thoughts could you add to get you to where you want to be? What more feelings could you cultivate to get you to where you want to be? And what actions could you take to get you to where you want to be? And just notice. Just notice. That's it. And then from that point, you can decide if, I bet we all end up going, oh, I choose this. I see, you literally created the roadmap for yourself, and just follow the roadmap. Now, the truth is, like, let's use my example of wanting a romantic, fun evenings with my husband. My brain will want to go default to the old way of, oh, I wish. Because my brain doesn't have to do anything there. It doesn't have to think anything different. It's the chips and ice cream, right? It's just easy. It's the easy way out. But I'm going to train my brain. I have to put this up in my kitchen, and I have to train my brain to think these thoughts, to feel these feelings. And I am going to do the 30 reasons why it's being married 30 years is awesome. The best thing that ever happened to me. I'm going to work on that this week. It's so worth it. Okay, I hope this was helpful. I hope you try it and you let me know in this thread or in our Facebook group if this was helpful. Again, I'm going to keep saying getting your power back. I always used to hear that, and I kind of dismissed it because either I didn't really get it at the level I wanted to, or I didn't understand it, or I thought it was gimmicky to say. But I feel like it's the theme of getting your power back is coming up more and more for me with my clients and myself. And it's like, this was another example today of I had all the power, and this little framework made me see that the power was within me. Rachel, good to see you. Okay, I hope this was helpful today. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next week. Bye, everybody. Take care.